Okay, greetings and peace, everyone. My name is Neo, and I'm here to share some info with the people. Welcome to Committed Relationships and Spiritual Activity. I was about to say spiritual technology. I don't know why, but thank you very much for clicking on this video and listening, because this is some very, very good information that I feel that everybody in general should listen to. However, especially young teenagers right now, because me sitting down, laying down, analyzing my day earlier today, and I got new information regarding my niece. And like I told you before, well, at least my subscribers and people who has listened to my recent videos, that I started my journey of studying and investigating relationships. I started studying my family. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. I started off studying and analyzing my family, because you have to keep in mind that your family is the very first experience of relationships that you will encounter, especially relationships with your mother, father, and or caretakers. So you have to reflect on your experiences that you have had with them and analyze those experiences and get to the bottom root of them, because those experiences are exact result of your current psychological issues and your current belief systems. And your current belief you have to analyze it, and you have to decide on if you want to continue to go along with those beliefs, because those beliefs that you currently have, the majority of them come from your childhood, whether it be your parents and or any other your family members or your anybody that you used to associate with during your childhood. You got to do that. And me, I've been through years of studying my family, studying a variety of other families. Like I used to be I was brought up in the Jehovah's Witness religion, and my part of my observation and analyzing came from a variety of families in my congregation and other congregations also. So then I scooped out of that and realized that religion is definitely not for me. So when you raise spiritually, true spirituality it doesn't involve religion at all. Once you really reach true spiritual awakening, you will realize that religion has nothing to do with spirituality. And if you really think about it, one example of that is most religions suppress anything spiritual, any spiritual talk, any spiritual anything. You can't talk about ghosts. You can't talk about parallel lives. When you get into that talk around religious people, they get spooked out. That lets you know that religion has nothing to do with spirituality. So I've been went on years and years of doing that. Then you had there's a few books that got me even more further to thinking into relationships and having the relationship mindset. So I've done a lot of studying and analyzing real life situations to the point to where now I have the relationship mindset and the analytical mind to where I can analyze a variety of things. And me looking at all of my family, my immediate family and cousins and aunts, and the ones that I had consistent access to, I've observed that teen pregnancy, and also me studying what true family structure needs to be like in the processes. A teen getting pregnant and going through that process of pregnancy and having to deal with adult situations prematurely is highly unrecommended. And I seriously feel like that time period during a teenager's teen years is a terrible time to have a baby, especially if the teenager has not matured psychologically yet. And this information is not only for the females, this is also for the males to learn to keep your thing in your pants until you mature into a much more mature adult and you know what you are doing and you are capable of dealing with the consequences of sex in case you do have a child. And me, I can speak this way also because I didn't start having sex until the age of 21, believe it or not. Yes, I waited that long. And I can say that I am happy that I was raised in the Jehovah's Witness religion because that did give me a solid, mature foundation. And regardless of how some of my videos speak against Jehovah's Witnesses, well, at least one of my videos, I said, when I reflect back on the maturity base foundation that it built for me, and I built on top of it, I got to say that that's what it did. So it did benefit me that way. It's just that my mother shoving it down our throats, that did not help at all. That actually wanted us to resist the religion. So I got to say it did teach maturity, a lot of maturity, and reading the different brochures and the books did help me build to where I am now. And that's why I was able to wait until I was 21 before I actually started having sex. And me doing that allowed me to avoid having children. And then it allowed me to mature to a higher level. And now I am to where I am now, where I'm just amazed at where I am now. And then when I look at other people, I really just want to help certain people that really want the help to mature and to get to higher levels of spiritually and also psychologically, because people have not even scratched the surface of their psychological and spiritual potential. But you got to first get past that family trap. Go look at my video, Family Trap, because that family trap that keeps you in the lower the lower human realm psychologically, and it keeps those people, those souls who are supposed to be doing something on a higher level, keeps them trapped. Go look at that. And this teen pregnancy situation here, hold on. Let me make sure. Every so often, I like to make sure that it's recording. Okay. This teen pregnancy situation has been going on for years, and it's being perpetuated by the world societies, especially the American society. And it starts with teen dating. The teen dating is, oh my God, it's flooded everywhere. It's the TVs, the TV shows, the movies, the magazines, and it's so deeply programmed into the teenager's mind as far as dating, and even before teenagers, the teen years, talking about, influencing them to date so young is so deep that most people can't even really realize what's going on. And very few people like me actually sit down and analyze what is going on. So you got the media influencing these teenagers to date and to think that it's okay to date prematurely. And within your teenage years, unless an individual is on the psychologically mature level and they're articulate and they're highly intelligent. They can think on them for themselves on an adult level. If they are on that level, that is different. However, and in that, if they are on that level psychologically, then they need to only deal with other people who are on that level or near that level, young ones, if they're going to date the young ones their age. However, in which by the age of between 14 and 16, the way things are supposed to be is they're supposed to be thinking like an adult. And then by the time they're 16, they can go out and do whatever they, well, with some limitations, yes, but you can let them loose a lot more than usual. But the way the American society teaches overall, the American society teaches parents to delay the maturity process and to get people to believe, and they do believe it, that 18 is considered an adult. That's how it is in America. 18 is considered an adult. And as far as psychological training and maturity process, nobody what I was gonna say, very few parents actually put their child through a maturity process so that they can mature. So that's why very few people actually mature either at all, or if they do, it's way past the age of 30, or it's later, it's delayed. Some people don't start maturing till 25 or way later. This, with me doing my studying, observation, and investigating of relationships in general, I've noticed that there's still some 40, 50s, and 60-year-olds who have not matured yet. And it is very, very sad to see this. And that let me know as a confirmation that material possessions does not equate maturity, as I said in some of my past videos. So what happens is when the teenager is unconscious of what is going on, and then they're dating, and then they start having sex, and then boom, they have the baby within their teenage years, which is still the development stage, unless the parents raise the child up psychologically to be a mature adult. That development stage, they get pregnant prematurely during that, prematurely as far as before maturity, psychological maturity. And then once the child has that baby, which the teenager is still a baby if they did not raise psychologically to a mature adult, they have to take that, and then they force themselves to jump into adulthood. And then a lot of them who have their child within the teenage years, they run around doing everything for the child, helping raise the child up. And then eventually they get trapped into trying to raise the child rather than trying to raise themselves into a mature adult. So their personal development gets delayed, if not get pushed off altogether. And then they put all of their energy into that child. And then if they end up having another child and more, that is even worse. They dig a deeper hole. They dig a deeper hole for themselves as far as the work that they have to do that's outside of themselves before they even got to their personal development. And I say this because I've seen this a lot in my own family and other families. And I just was seeing recently what's going on with one of my family members. She had two children within her teen years, and that is a big no. So she had two of those, and she did not mature before she had the child, and she didn't have a strong relationship with her mother and father. So that's a big no. Then she moved around from home to home, and I think she was in either no, not a foster home. She had like a big sister program that was supposed to help her out, to help with maturity and to have some kind of strong guidance, but I'm not sure how much that helped out. So then now I see one of my family. I see this young one here. She's running around getting a new car and a new apartment, and she's doing all these things external when she never did her personal development work, and she never resolved her unresolved childhood issues. And she still has issues with her mother. She still has issues with her father because she never had a strong relationship with her father. And her mother is still immature and still has psychological issues, unresolved childhood issues. And it is just a continuous cycle in my family. And that is why I'm happy that I woke up spiritually at 13, and that pointed me out to look at my family, to look at the cycle so that I can stop the cycle with me and do something totally different and raise myself up and evolve to a higher level outside of that family trap. And this young one that I was speaking about, as far as my family member, she's another one that's a victim of the family trap and the family pattern. Because as I said in the family trap, that, or one of my other videos, that every family has one or more cycles that they are a part of, that they have within their family. It's a pattern that just goes over and over and over and over again. And everybody or a few people are a part of. It could be alcoholism. It could be drug abuse. It could be domestic abuse. It could be teenage pregnancy. For my family, it's teenage pregnancy, and it's a little bit of alcoholism. And I'm glad that I have control of my mind, because recently I almost, I can see where people start their alcoholism, but I stopped myself because I seen where it gets started. And I might go ahead and explain my experience about what happened with me. But I'm fortunate. I'm telling you, it pays to learn how to control your mind, because then you'll be able to learn how to control your behavior, and you'll know how to get out of your habits and prevent a habit from starting. That's why me, with alcoholism being in my family, me of all people need to avoid heavy drinking. And that's one of my things that I'm glad that I'm not caught up on, is alcoholism. I could drink a little bit because I like Coronas, but I know when to stop. And a lot of people don't know when to stop. So anyway, so these teens, when they have that baby, they get caught up in it, and then they get caught up in raising the child when they have not raised themselves up yet. And that's the trap. And then they go into putting all their time and energy into that child, and then they delay their personal development. And then this whole time they don't mature themselves, and they think that because they got a car, they got a child, they got their own apartment, they have money, they think that they're grown. And a lot of these teenagers and these early 20s, 20-year-olds, they think that, oh, I'm grown, I got my own this and this and that. Oh, I hate hearing that. When they say that they're grown, more than likely they're not, because a mature adult does not walk around bragging that they're grown. Big, 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 big no, no. So that's why I got to say to the young people, if you do not have a child, I want you to first focus on your personal development so that you can mature psychologically. Maturity deals with your own mind, the refinement, the quality level of your own mind. The American society, and worldly societies too, probably, but the American society influences people that maturity equates to gaining material possessions. And material possessions is only an aspect of maturity, depending on what material possessions you seek out. And you only need the necessities of maturity, of material possessions. And people think that having a car, well, I'll let you deal with that and think about that. But having a car that does not, it's not a symbol of being a mature adult. You got to get your mind right first. Just like I said in my first book, my first chapter of my ebook, my committed relationship ebook, get your mind right. All right. that's that. And that's all I have to say. It's just, you got to get your mind right first. You have to mature before you have a child. And even when you have a child, you have to have a relationship with that child, a strong relationship with that child. But before you even do that, you got to have a strong relationship with yourself. Then have a strong relationship with the person that you want to have a child with. And that person has to mature to a high level, an adequate level first. Then, if you do have one child, secure your relationship and have a strong relationship with that child first before you even decide to have another child. People are getting so messed up with this as far as having more than one child when they haven't even secured the relationship with the first one. Oh, that's what I mean by people are not thinking clearly. All right, till next time. Thank you very much for listening.